21.
The card was Heart 4. The man just smiled without any surprises. The crowd was screaming loudly, and the man got all the attention. People at the table looked at him unsatisfyingly, and one old man with a grumpy voice said,
"You just got lucky, you know that, right?"
The crazy man responded with a smirk instead. The old lady next to him tapped the table, and she got the clover 6. She got busted, and the dealer took the chips away without any hesitation from the old lady. The scene was cruel, but at the same time people were entertained around it. Dealer opened his card, and the card that was covered was number 7. Dealer had to withdraw another card, and the dealer got busted with clover 8. The man got one yellow chip instead, and the chip was worth about $2,000. That was about my 3 weeks of wage right there. The old lady packed her bag and left the table. I looked around the crowd, but nobody wanted to join the table. I took the opportunity to sit beside the crazy guy, and I saw his face. He had rich black hair with thick eyebrows. His light brown eyes were almost close to the red, but the jaw lines were thin, and it gave a bit of feminine impression. "Can I cash in 200? Once I put $200 bills on the table. Dealer took it and matched 8 of the green chips in 2 rows. Dealer said like he was announcing I was entering the game.
200 cash in.
Everyone put the chips on the betting section, and the dealer was waiting for me to place the bet. I hesitated. I wanted to watch a few more games before I joined. The guy asked,
"Are you going to join the game?"
He smiled and said friendly,
"If you are not joining this time, I would like to bet on your table. I believe your table will get the blackjack this time."
I watched his showmanship, but at the same time I couldn't just trust a stranger I just met. I wanted to see if he was just lucky or he had plans on the game. "Go ahead, I will join the next game."
"Thank you."
The man placed about $500 on my betting section, and the dealer told me to touch the chips, so I did. After I touched the chips, the game started. I saw the diamond ace as the first card on my hand, and I got the heart 10 as my second card. He was right. I got the blackjack just like he predicted. The dealer got the 10 on the opened card, and the dealer asked for the insurance. Nobody got a bet on the insurance, and the dealer checked the hidden card secretly with some sort of lens. After he checked the card, he gave the payouts to the guy.
"Thank you. Here.
The guy gave me $100 amount of chips and continued,
It's a tip for the table."
"Oh, thank you." Just like that, I got the $100 for free. The guy was interesting enough to catch my attention. I asked him, "What's your name?"
"My name is Demian. What's yours?"
"Edward, just call me Ed."
"First time in a casino?"
He asked without looking at my eyes. His eyes were focusing on the table all the time, even though he simply won the game. "How did you know?"
"Usually people don't just sit on the table and wait when to go in."
Demian smirked, and his smirk had the futility just like his ash-like eyes. He sat with chin resting on the table and continued,
"I was just like you when I came to the casino for the first time."
Demian threw a couple chips on his betting section. I hesitated to bet this time as well, and Demian saw and he asked,
"Are you joining this time?"
"Yes." I betted my first 2 chips on the table. Dealer waved his hands above the chips and announced that the betting was closed. Demian got the 15, and the dealer's opening card was showing 7. I got 19. I didn't have to do anything. I wondered what Demian was thinking. I quietly watched him, but he didn't do anything unexpected. He waved at his cards, and so did I. The dealer had 17, and Demian lost $50. I asked him, "I thought you would hit, but you just stayed."
"Well, I knew I would just lose either way. That's why I bet the minimum."
The dealer was matching my chips to pay out while I was talking to Demian.
"Blackjack is more of a team game, and sometimes I feel like I better save the luck for the next time."
I was a bit surprised that he mentioned luck. To me, Demian looked like a person who saw through and calculated through all the possibilities that were coming up. I asked. Why would you say luck? It was the first time Demian looked at me. He smirked and looked at me interestingly. He asked.
It was the first person who asked this kind of question in the casino.
He glanced at his card on the table carelessly and continued.
Even if the possibilities are high, there are chances that we are expecting unexpected results.
He pointed at this card and said,
Look, for example, the dealer has a face card now, and it's not blackjack. I have 13 on me. Either way, I'm going to lose. In the book, it's a hit, but what are the chances that I'm going to get ideal number 8, or close to 21? I would say it's pretty low.
Demian tapped the table with his 2 fingers to hit. The dealer served a card, and it was Clover 8. Demian lifted his eyebrows and looked at me. He said,
This is just pure luck. I wished to have 8, but I didn't expect it to be 8 because the possibility was low. This is what I mean by luck. Life can't be calculated, and so is the future. That's why we are calling it luck.
I had 20 on my hand. It was the second best hand. I waved my hand, and the dealer opened the card. Dealer had 19, and I won $25 in one game. I won a few more games constantly, and at one point, I made more than $200. Demian lost a few games, but he only lost a few chips. He didn't bet like he did before. I asked, Why don't you bet like how you used to?
You don't want to get addicted to victory. Otherwise, you become arrogant and greedy. You will lose what you earned.
You could have made $10,000 if you kept betting big. Demian smirked again. It was close to mocking, to be honest. I didn't understand the meaning of his smirk at that time. Demian grabbed the chip and dropped it on the chips repeatedly. The plastic clapping sound was pleasing like a castanet's. He bet $250 on the table and said,
You see, today is my good day. I did make good money. I started with $200 and made about $6,000 now. It's a good day. I didn't have to go home after losing $200, but I don't rely on my luck if it comes to life. It's like I'm dreaming in a casino. I never thought of gambling as my job. It's more of joy.
Dealer gave the cards, and Demian got the blackjack, and I got number 8. I felt disappointed. Demian won the chips, and he piled the chips. He picked a few chips and changed them to yellow chips. He put those yellow chips into his chest pocket and spoke continuously.
You can never win the money if you are addicted to gambling. I'm in the casino because I'm just bored in my life. I broke up with my ex-girlfriend about 2 years ago, and I just don't have any joy in my life.
The waitress passed by, and Demian grabbed the water from the plate and he gave her $1 tip. He continued after a sip of soda.
My emotions got numb after the breakup, but the only time I feel emotions is when I gamble. By losing money, I feel sorrow, and by winning money, I feel alive.
He smirked once again. I tapped the table, and I got a face card. I had 18 against the dealer's open card, spade 9. I waved, and the dealer opened the card. The dealer had a face card. I lost $25. It was the first time I lost money at the blackjack table. I felt disappointed and melancholic. I hesitated to bet the next game, but my hand moved unwillingly. Demian betted $50 this time and watched me.
Sometimes it's better to lose. You can't expect to win all the time.
Demian got 2 and 3. He had 5 on his hand and he laughed futilely. This time I got the 18 and the dealer's opening card was 7. I felt relieved. Demian tapped and he got the face card. He hit another card and the next card was heart 8. He was busted. I asked him carefully, "Don't you feel pain when you lose money?"
I do, just like experiencing a breakup.
He yawned while he was stretching. He continued,
Doesn't matter if it's a small amount of money or a big amount of money. I feel the pain when I lose, but it is what it is. I already felt the thrill that freezes my backbone. Now I'm just trying to slowly enjoy the game. It's a bit too early to go back home. It's Saturday.
I won as I expected. This time I gained back my confidence and I could continue to bet. I couldn't remember how many games I played. I couldn't even remember how time was passing by. I did what Demian was doing. As soon as I got more than a couple $100, I changed the chip into another chip. Demian rubbed his eyes, and he seemed like he was tired. He bet 10 of the green chips on the betting section, and he stretched his back. He said,
This is going to be my last game of the day. I feel tired.
Demian yawned without covering his mouth. He was an interesting person. His eyes were transparent enough to see through what he was thinking, and he spoke without any hesitation. I asked, "Are you tired?"
Yes, I've been here for almost 6 hours now. I want to go home, take a hot shower, and go back to sleep.
Demian blinked his eyes multiple times to wake himself up. His eyes were as red as rose wine. Dealer gave the cards to Demian. The first number was ace. He nodded quietly, and I received a face card. It wasn't a bad start. The second card for the Demian was another ace, and he shook his head. My next card was diamond 4. I took a deep breath once I saw my card and Demian's card. I was jealous of him. He was getting too lucky. Demian showed splitted fingers on the table. He splitted and put another 10 green chips on the table. Dealer put the cards beside each other and pulled another card for him. First one was a face card and the second one was number 10. He laughed quietly and yawned once again. He waited until the game ended. He looked at me quietly and didn't say any words. I asked him, "Should I hit?"
Do what you feel like. I can't tell you because I'm a gambler, not a prophet.
I hesitated to hit, especially when I see the dealer's opening card was a 7. I tapped the table twice and the dealer pulled out a card. I received the number 8. I got busted. Dealer showed me a face of empathy. The only thing I could do was laugh at myself. Dealer had 17, and once the game was over, Demian changed his chips and stood up from the table. Demian said,
It was nice to meet you, Ed. Good luck for the rest of the night.
"Hey Demian." I stopped him while he was walking away from me. "Can I get your social media or contacts?" Demian laughed awkwardly and said while he was walking,
I don't give my personal information in the casino. If you are lucky, we will meet again.
He walked away and hid himself into the crowds. I realized I was the only one at the table. He looked at the clock. It was 1:21 a.m. I played a couple more games, and the fatigue I forgot about raided me like a wave coming without any awareness. I counted chips in my pockets. I had about $600 in 6 hours. I made more than 3 days of wages. By converting money into time, I realized I won 3 days. I stood up from the table once I lost my game. I was tired and I couldn't think rationally. As much as I played the game, I realized I was getting greedy. I cashed out my chips and stepped out of the casino. The night air was humid and the roads were wet. I realized it was raining while I was playing the game. The humidity amplified the odors around the casino, dusty smell and the smell of money. I looked back at the casino. This was where the money was, and where I could dream.